This week on Wildcat News, we meet the new men's basketball coach.
We find out how stress can affect sleep.
And we learn more about the rise of pollution.
All these stories and more coming up because Wildcat News starts now. Good morning, West Johnston. I'm Caroline Carlson.
And I'm Mason Butcher. Last Tuesday, the athletic department named a new men's basketball coach. Landry Connors reports.
The new basketball coach is no stranger to the public eye. College and NBA player Chucky Brown was announced as the new head basketball coach on Tuesday, April 2nd. Brown began his career playing for NC State University and was later picked by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round of the NBA draft. His accomplishments include an NBA championship win in 1995. Brown explains how he came to be at the school.
The opportunity came because a friend, I was training his son, and he asked me if I would ever be interested in coaching. So I said, yeah, of course, of course. But I, didn't really know how to get myself out there. And so the opportunity came, and he said, hey, would you be willing to coach at West Johnston? I said, sure. And that's just how it happened. West Johnston, because it's not too far from my house. I can still stay in North Carolina, and I can still, watch my kids grow.
Athletic Director Josh Plisco believes the new coach will be beneficial to the athletic program as a whole.
Just bringing someone in that has won an NBA championship, a professional athlete, not only from their playing skills, but he's coached at a high level. So he's firsthand seen the type of characteristics of athletes that have to get there. Just like good students in the classroom that develop good study habits, communication, and things like that. To be successful on the field, you need similar attributes and things, and he's picked that up and seen that firsthand. So to be able to communicate that with our student athletes, all of them, is going to be outstanding, and we're looking forward to it.
Plisco's goal is to be competitive.
No one can take a day off on West Johnston. When we get off the bus, people know what we're about. We play hard, play good defense or offense, or at least one of the two, and have fun doing it, represent our school in the right way. And I think that's a big thing, is being able to come off the bus and have that self-belief a little bit that he talked about.
Junior Anthony Shaw is excited to play under the new coach and thinks his professional experience will help the team.
He's been around the game a long time. He's been in the NBA and he has been in college, playing at the highest levels basically, and won championships. In the past, we haven't had that many winning seasons, and I think this is going to be a great deal to the team because I think he's going to push us to do what we have to do to win, and that's the common goal, is to win.
Brown hopes to establish belief in his players like his previous coaches did for him.
I think if you show them that you believe in them, that they'll believe in themselves. I hear all the stories about how Coach K, what he says to his players. I've had coaches say that same type of stuff to me. So like Coach Valvano, the same thing. Chuck Daly, played for Chuck Daly, another one. So I think I would like to just try to instill a belief in themselves. And I think I've learned from my other coaches, even like I told them in the meeting we had, even like a coach of mine that was negative, I found a way to take a positive out of that. So I would take from him how not to treat my players. You know what I'm saying? So, I think, just helping them believe in themselves. I think that, Lenny Wilkins and those guys did that with me, and I try to do that to them as well.
I'm Landry Connors, Wildcat News.
Thanks, Landry. Do you think stress can affect how much sleep you get per night? Wake up! How much does stress affect the amount of sleep you get per night? According to childmind.org, 60 to 70% of American teens live with a borderline to severe sleep debt. Junior Katie Tudor and Luke Markison discuss the factors that play into sleep deprivation.
There's a lot of different expectations for high schoolers where they have jobs and sports, and they have to keep their grades up, and depending on what level of class you're in is whether the course load is going to be higher. When I've lost sleep, my stress level has gone up, and I've complained about my stress, but I've always gotten it done, so I feel like I just have learned how to handle it a lot better.
After some games or practices, I can get home pretty late, and sometimes whenever I get home from an away game or something, I would feel like, man, I'm ready to go to sleep, and then just be reminded, but I still have some homework for this class, and so either I'll have to stay up and finish it and miss a little bit of sleep, or get the sleep and just not do the homework.
For AP Research, Tudor conducted a case study of the association of sleep and stress among high school students. She found that students in different grade levels displayed a difference in results.
The upperclassmen, it seemed like they could handle their stress better. So even though they weren't getting a lot of sleep, but they were saying that they had all these different things to do, but their stress levels weren't very high. They were like a 5 on average. But the underclassmen were getting 8 hours of sleep and their stress level was a 10. Because they don't really know how to handle it that well.
As an upperclassman, Markuson shares his point of view.
Upperclassmen maybe don't handle it better, but have kind of just come to terms with accepting it better than some underclassmen. Because as an upperclassman, you could say, oh, I'm going to lose this amount of sleep, or I'm just not going to do this homework, versus where an underclassman would be like, I have to get this done.
Though Markuson thinks time management can somewhat help with stress, he shares opposing views with Tudor on how to cope.
As long as we have a ton of homework or we do things outside of school, it's going to end up cutting into our sleep. And whenever we get less sleep, we're going to be even more stressed about things and even a little angry through the day. And so I feel like it's just a continuing cycle of homework means less sleep, which means more stress, and it's just adding on to adding on.
High schoolers can reduce their stress by taking time out of their day to do things that relieve their stress, like maybe playing a sport instead of going to their normal practices, or playing an instrument, or writing, doing things that they enjoy.
I'm Caroline Carlson, Wildcat News.
Thanks, Caroline. Now let's head over to Grayson Betts with the rundown.
I'm Grayson Betts and welcome to the rundown. Here's the last week's scores. Last Wednesday, varsity baseball won 7-0 against East Wake, soccer won 3-2 against East Wake, and tennis won 7-2 against Clayton. Thursday, tennis won 7-2 against North Johnston, and varsity soccer won 9-0 against South Garner. And Friday, varsity softball won 24-2 against East Wake. Now for the game of the week.
Last Wednesday, the Lady Wildcats hosted the East Wake Warriors. Carrington Mack scores a goal off the assist from C.C. Hamrick. Brooklyn Blake makes a save. Taylor Evans scores off a penalty kick. The Wildcats won 3-2.
Tonight, golf is home for senior night and soccer is away. Tomorrow, golf and track are away, and tennis, baseball, soccer, and softball are away. Come out and support your spring athletes. I'm Grayson Bess, and that's your week's rundown.
Thanks, Grayson. There has been a rise in pollution over the years. Allison Wade reports.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. Plastics and other causing factors of pollution have made a mark on the earth. AP environmental teacher Heather Arp talks about the rise of pollution.
Over especially the past 100 years, we've gone from having fewer than 2 billion people in the world to now over 7.5 billion. As populations have increased, standards of living have increased, and technology has allowed us to have more stuff that's a lot faster than we would have had before. Advancement of not just digital technology, which has contributed to electronic waste, but also disposable items. 50 years ago, you didn't have plastic milk jugs. You had glass bottles that were refilled. Sodas were not in plastic bottles, they were in glass bottles that got refilled. You didn't have the same level of easily accessible single-use plastics.
ARP goes into detail about pollution on campus.
We've done a few campus cleanups over the years, and the amount of trash that's left across the exterior of our campus is kind of eye-opening. When you look at most of it, more than anything, it's going to be fast food wrappers and fast food containers and straws and lids and cans. And so it's mostly stuff that is very easily switched out for something that is not single-use to begin with.
Senior Sasha Hanna shares a contributing factor of pollution that is a part of school lunch.
I remember in elementary, middle school, and even partway through my freshman year, or the beginning half of my freshman year, we used plastic trays that could be re-washed and reused, and now we've switched completely to styrofoam trays, which you throw them out right after you're done eating, and then it goes into a landfill and just kind of hangs out there for like a billion years because they don't decompose and degrade.
Senior Rebecca Green lists ways to help combat pollution.
For most people, it would have to be like finding alternatives. So instead of like plastic bottles, you use your reusable bottle. Or if you like to drink out of a straw, there's a lot of reusable straw companies that have gained a lot of momentum.
Green wishes for a more green future.
I definitely do hope to cut back more on the different plastics and disposable things I use. I'll probably be looking forward to or towards more reusable items rather than like recycling and stuff.
Hannah feels that environmental classes have changed her views on pollution.
Taking environmental classes has really like opened my eyes, because before I kind of just heard the news about it, and then I didn't really connect it to like my real life and like looking at the world around me. And now I start like seeing the actual effects in like the news and stuff, and it just makes you start thinking about like what we can do to fix these problems.
Hannah talks about the repercussions of waste being dumped in the ocean.
There's actually like an island of trash that's like the size of Texas at this point, just inside the middle of the ocean, where it's just like all gathered together. And so like we really need to get on like cleaning out the ocean, and like, because that's what we share worldwide. It's like what unifies us. So if we destroy that, we're pretty much just done for like Earth in general.
I'm Allison Wade, Wildcat News.
Thanks, Allison. Well, that's all for us this week. If you have any comments, questions, or story leads, email us at wjstudentmedia@gmail.com or send us a tweet at wjstudentmedia.
If you want to watch Wildcat News at home, on the go, or catch up on past episodes, go to wjstudentmedia.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Mason Butcher.
And I'm Caroline Carlson. Thanks for watching and have a great week.